Hey everybody, my name is Ed. Okay, so we're going to do another random comics review, and today we are going to do Captain Marvel number 38 from 1975, 25 cents, The Trial of the Watcher, featuring the Lunatic Legion. So this is the most cosmic superhero of all. This is Captain Marvel, I believe, post Jim Starlin. The writing is by Steve Englehart, and the art is by Al Milgrom and Klaus Janson. So this is part of a long ongoing story where the Lunatic Legion are these kind of rogue mercenaries from the Cree Empire, and they're out to get Mar-Vell for some alleged crimes. Meanwhile, the Watcher had kind of stumbled into the story more or less, and he's going to be put on trial because he has like broken his vow of non-interference. But we'll get that into that in a moment. So basically, we do a recap where we kind of get the origin of the Cree and the Skrull conflict. And what's funny is this is being written by Steve Englehart like around 1975. At that same time, he was writing the Avengers and he was writing Captain America. So I think at this time, it's 1975, so he must have been doing the Watergate story, the first Secret Empire story for Captain America. But a little bit earlier than that, he kind of did the origins of the Kree Skull conflict in the Avengers as it related to the origins of Mantis. But anyway, the Kree were originally this blue skin race. They were kind of caveman type people, and the Skrulls were this actually benevolent race that would go throughout the universe sharing their technology with people. Anyway, there was a contest between the Cree and the plant people, and the Skrulls, or I should probably show this, the Skrulls actually gave the prize to the plant people. The Cree didn't like that, turned against the plant people, and then turned against the Kree and took their technology. So that's the start of the war. A lot of people, when the Captain Marvel, the Brie Larson Captain Marvel movie came out, I've heard not tons of criticism, but a little bit of criticism of like, oh, in that movie, we think the Skrulls are the bad guys, but then they turn out to be good guys, and it's like, the refugee crisis that's going on in real life now, and it's all about the SJWs, whoever, who have infiltrated Hollywood. But really, that depiction of the Kree Kree and the Skrulls actually do go back to a comic book from like 45 years ago. Anyway, here they talk about how the Cree, have gone throughout the universe and conquered people, and they've done the imperialism, right? They've done the colonialism, and there's intermarriage, so that's why there's blue skin Cree and there's white skin Cree, and of course the blue skin Cree here are really kind of prejudiced, or at least the Lunatic Legion here are kind of prejudiced against the pink skin Cree. Here we got some interesting art here. This is kind of they've got Mar-Vell hooked up to the machine that's going to disintegrate him, right? And this disintegration is drawn as kind of like post-psychedelic graphic here, which is interesting. It's 1975, so it's just after the whole kind of like hippie psychedelic thing here. So there's lots of remnants of that. Lots of remnants of that in this comic. There's lots of remnants of that in I'll say Steve Englehart's Avengers run too, but we'll talk about that some other time. But here, they've got him hooked up to the machine, but instead of destroying him, he turns back into Rick Jones. Now, at this point, Rick Jones and Mar-Vell were sharing the same sort of same body, or for lack of a better word, but only of them could exist in a real space only one at one particular time. That's what I meant to say. And the other person would be floating out in the negative zone. And it's kind of a callback to the kind of Fawcett DC Captain Marvel as well. You know, Billy Batson, Captain Marvel. So now we've got Rick Jones, Mar-Vell. Anyway, as as Rick Jones has joined the positive universe, Mar-Vell is floating around in the negative zone, and then his cosmic awareness, that's some of that kind of post psychedelic nonsense going on there, has started to kick in, and their minds of they already can kind of communicate with each other, but now their minds and their physical will seems to be merging even more, you know. So Rick Jones clicks his armbands together, and that's normally how they would switch places between the negative zone and the positive universe. And so here comes Mar-Vell again, and he starts a fight with the Lunatic Legion guys. It's like, how did I get here? This, that, and the other thing. I remember one thing, now I remember the other thing. And it looks like me and Rick our cosmic bond has changing nature or whatever. And you know, there's more fights and stuff and blah blah blah. This is also pretty indicative of that time where a lot of times these Marvel writers and artists were just kind of making things up as they went along, because it just barely this thing. Well, it's not that it doesn't make any sense. It's like, now we're fighting, now we're not fighting, now I'm being cosmic, now we're fighting again. It doesn't really feel like a completely thought out thing, you know. There's also some really interesting art here by Al Milgrom. You can see he's kind of blending several different Marvel styles at the time. You know, there's that kind of John Buscema, Jack Kirby stuff going on, but you can see a little bit of Neil Adams happening, some Gil Kane probably, maybe some Steve Ditko. And he's making it look all kind of like flamboyant and flashy as possible. So, all right, so now we're fighting, more back and forth with Rick and Mar-Vell. And hey, here's an ad for subscriptions. Here's the thing. I'm trying to remember where that image comes from. Obviously it's the cover of some Fantastic Four comic or annual or Treasury or something like that. Maybe this is a Johnny Romita drawing. Maybe it's John Buscema. And here's Count Dante, the deadliest man alive. Again, it's 1975, so the whole kind of kung fu exploitation thing was still going on. Anyway, more fighting. And then they're thinking, hey, the Supreme Intelligence must have something to do with this. And maybe he does, and maybe he doesn't. But here, more fighting. And then they force Rick and Mar-Vell to change places again. And Rick Jones says, hey, you know, I know the Supreme Intelligence. Supreme Intelligence is the disembodied computer head of all the great thinkers of the Cree Empire, synthesized into this sort of AI, and he sort of rules the empire. But the leader of the Supreme Intelligence, or I'm sorry, of the Lunatic Legion says, ha, we don't like that traitor. Anyway, Mar-Vell prevails, and he finds the Watcher, who's been watching all this all the time, and he's trying to figure out what's going on here, sir. What's this all about? Bullpen bulletins ad for the electric company. At that time, Spider-Man was appearing on the Electric Company, which was this kids program on PBS that taught kids how to read. If you look for it on YouTube, you can probably find clips of it. Hostess ads, Ross Andrew art, and then at first it looks like the Watcher is going to strike out against Mar-Vell. You say, no, I must go face my peers. My peers have, charged me with all these crimes. I must face justice. I must own up to my responsibilities or whatever. And then Mar-Vell and Rick are like, no, we've got to go follow him and help him out if we can. And then now we get the actual trial of the Watcher. Ta-ta. Here you can get some posters, Marvel posters. And here you can sell grit. Oh no, this isn't even sell grit. What is this? This is sales for something. I don't even know what you're supposed to be selling for here. It's the Olympic Sales Club. That's what this is. And on here you're supposed to like sell seeds, and if you sell a certain amount of seeds, you can get all these prizes and things. Okay, so then that's it. Thank you very much for watching. You guys have a good day.